Restaurants that have pictures of their dishes on the menu are awesome and should be totally normalized. Whenever I hear someone talk about a restaurant where the menus have pictures of the food on them, they talk about it as if it's a red flag. Bullshit. I want to see pictures of what the food I am going to order looks like. It's so much easier to decide what you want to eat that way. Oh, and I don't understand how people can think it's tacky then look at the food at the table next to them and be like, oh, that looks good, then ask the other table what they ordered so they can order the same thing. I don't care if it makes me seem like a dumb small-minded person. I wanna see more pictures of food. It rules. I demand all menus are made like pop-out books. Speaking as a cook, this stuff is a nightmare because if your food doesn't look exactly like it does on the menu, then you're absolutely going to get customers that bitch about it. There's always people who ruin the system for everyone. I wish it was normal to have food replicas like in Japan, https://en. Wikipedia.org/wiki/food_model. Every time I go to a new restaurant I Yelp their food pics. Almost always pick based on the looks of the food. Don't even read the reviews. Whether you thought it was good was subjective. If I can see it looks like something I'd eat, I'm giving it a shot. I know Gordon Ramsay says it's a red flag, so maybe people just parrot this as he has such a big fan base. I don't have an issue with it. For real though, in Japan, if I remember correctly, some restaurants even have displays of plastic replicas of dishes so you can see what the food will look like. As the designer who has made such menus, the amount of times I have had restaurant owners come to me with crappy cell phone pics in yellow lighting and about 600px on a side is a big part of why you don't see this. They have no clue. On the other side of the spectrum are the restaurant owners who have flagrantly stolen food pics from Instagram that look absolutely nothing like that the actual food they serve will look like. Never once did I have a customer who could take decent pictures of their own actual food. Never. Why do people consider it a red flag? You would love Japan. Many restaurants there have plastic versions of every dish in the window. I think I've noticed that places with pictures tend to just have worse food, and usually the photos aren't hugely appetizing, e.g. Denny's or a lot of Asian restaurants. I'm a culinary student, so I'll pull a quote straight out of my textbook. We have two words about using pictures on menus or menu boards: forget it. You can't possibly make the item look like the picture. We realize that pictures are critical marketing components of quick service operations, but even so, we don't like them. It would be much better, and safer, to prepare a few sample plates and display them in the restaurant's entry area. At least these are realistic. Plus, they can enhance your overall marketing efforts. Feinstein and Stefanelli, 2010, p. 9. To summarize, unless every single one of your staff, including yourself, can make the exact same dish in the picture, to the detail, every time for every dish, you're better off not putting the picture in. It's fine for fast food because cheap is their whole game, but the more value you put into your food, the picture idea gets worse. As an alternative, I recommend a method that restaurants in Japan have been using for the last 100 years, where they ask special craftsmen to make wax or plastic food models that look like the real food and then display them near the entrance. This is the best way to satisfy your wants and the complaints of culinarians in a weird sort of compromise, since you get your visual representation and the chefs get their displayed sample plates. Plus, since everyone would understand that what they're looking at is a fake plate, there would be no unrealistic expectation for the real food. I've linked a video of a guy making tempura shrimp, some other tempura thing, and a wax cabbage or lettuce here, https://m. YouTube.com/watch, v=ppqrnkoq. References: Feinstein, A. H. and Stefanelli, J. M. Purchasing for Chefs, A Concise Guide, 2nd ed., Hoboken, New Jersey, Wiley. Food Model, 2020, July 3. Retrieved August 12, 2020, from https://en. M. Wikipedia, org/wiki/food_model. I only think it's a red flag if the photos are super low quality, and the food looks bad in them. They didn't take the time or effort to get good photos taken, and if the food looks bad in the picture, and they still put it on the menu, they probably don't care. Also it depends, if you are going to a local dinner where a plate is $8 to $12, and they have pictures, that's fine, but if you're somewhere where a plate is 25 plus a plate, and they have pictures, that is where you want to start watching out, from my experience. Plus when they add little symbols for spiciness or vegetarian options. Always a nice touch. I literally just want a calorie count on literally everything. It just makes life so much easier. I hate trying to estimate. Any restaurant with menus like the make life easier. If it weren't for pictures of food on menus, I would have had no clue what to order when I went to Hong Kong. Exactly. I came from a country where all restaurants have really large pictures of food on their menus. It helps a lot even if the actual food does not look exactly like the picture. When my family traveled to the US, it was extremely frustrating for us to order, especially for my grandparents who did not know English. Unpopular opinion for sure. This amazing Turkish restaurant in my city has pictures for every single dish on the menu, and I've tried mostly everything, and not one dish has been bad yet. It really helps you decide as a customer so you know what to expect. My ex-husband was from mainland China, where it is very common to have a photo of every meal. When I brought him to the US, he was flabbergasted at not having pictures of every food. It is hard when you are facing new foreign foods, but even when it's your own cuisine you want to see what it looks like. Normalize this, normalize that. Normalize shutting the fuck up. I agree. Totally ordered from a new restaurant and had no idea what I was actually getting, which resulted in a 100 questions and 2 calls. Even then, after I picked up my order, it still wasn't what I thought or expected. Much smaller than what normal size is as well. A picture would have been so much easier to see exactly what I was getting. If anything, give me a description that puts the picture in my head. If you can't do that, I need the pic. I agree. But then they have a standard to adhere to. Does a Big Mac look like the one on the menu?